Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Saturday, September 20, 2025. It's about 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and an investing YouTube Charts channel. Please excuse the noise. There is background noise today. Let's go ahead and get started with SPY, SPY. So we are in this uptrend still in the daily chart for about almost 5 months now. The resistance that we are approaching, 665 to the upside. If we put pivots up, 667 would be the next pivot point to the upside. There's a small gap above 659 as support, and then 656 is the next largest support level down. If we open some additional indicators, you can see the golden cross activated on June 30, 2025, still in the uptrend for SPY. However, the stochastic RSI is in the overbought range on the top side here, just meaning that eventually at some point we might get a small pullback, but that will be timed by the day traders or the breaking news. In terms of volatility, Bollinger Band and linear regression channel, we are not at any extreme zone right now, still holding on this uptrend. Weekly chart, it is a hanging man candle or a hammer candle, but to me it looks a little bit more like a hanging man candle, so just want to watch out for that. However, it's not very extreme. We are starting to lose some momentum in the weekly, however, that could take weeks to play out. It's all about the data this week. We have GDP data. We also have another Fed Chair Powell speech, core PCE price index, so that's likely to affect the indexes. Nasdaq QQQ also in this uptrend, still in the past 5 to 6 months here in this price action. In terms of next resistance up, we're right below at 600 even. It's going to be the next resistance, just almost $1 away. The support right below to the downside would be about 592 and 587. We're basically playing these two ranges. That's about a 2.3% range. Similar to SPY, we have on the stochastic RSI, which I'm showing today, on the overbought range. It's not perfect, but if we ever get a double top on the stochastic RSI, we might get a larger pullback. Right now, a small pullback is possible, but for the larger pullbacks of about 4 to 5%, that's what I'm looking out for. Now, on the weekly charts, very similar, starting to lose momentum on the MACD. However, we did recently bounce off that 12 EMA, this blue line. Still holding strong. There's no emergency signal just yet. Still in the uptrend. The Dow Jones, we happen to have a very small breakout, still in the uptrend past several months. Resistance 463, support 458. And we're looking for any signals here for confirmation. In terms of stochastic RSI oscillator, it is not at the overbought zone yet. There's a slightly higher chance that Dow Jones could try to continue up, but we have a few companies coming out this week reporting earnings that could change as well. Still in the uptrend. So for me, my style is a little bit more conservative on trading, and I like to try to trade off of bounces, the EMA bounces, right? So when it's up in the air like this, I typically do not enter. So for me, one of my setups would be somewhere around September 4 or August 12th, etc. Bouncing off that EMA line, trying to catch it going up. In terms of the weekly chart, yes, we have a little bit of this double top action, but we're probably going to have to retest this 465 area on the resistance to see if it's going to break out or not. Let's go to IWM, Russell 2000, had a little bit of sell-off. Some of the small caps sold off. But I do like that the stochastic RSI is starting to reset a little bit. It's not so high. And we're still in the uptrend here. All EMAs are open. So the support to the downside would be about 239 to 237 area On the weekly chart, just pierced through this previous level of resistance, which is 239.58, hitting the yellow bar line, which is a longer term 1-year resistance zone. And if we're looking at possibly an Elliott wave, 5-wave pattern here, let's bring that up. So if this is 1, this could be our 3, and we are in the 5th potential wave. So it's possible that if we do not confidently break above 245 this year, maybe we'll get a little bit of an ABC small pullback, small ABC pullback. That's something I'm thinking about for IWM. Let's jump to a couple of the chart setups. Apple's still in this uptrend right now. Recently, what happened on the daily chart is we finally got an SMA golden cross. Let's point at it with the arrow on about September 12th, and this coincides with the launch of the iPhone 17. Finally, in terms of the chart event. So Apple is one of the laggards, actually. When you look at all the Magnificent Seven, a lot of them have rallied, so Apple's one of the last ones to rally. But in terms of next resistance zone, probably about 256 area, and then support area at 242. Tesla as well. We had there's a nice breakout here on the setup, and that's over now. So hopefully somebody caught that and had a nice profit on that trade. But now what I'm seeing on Tesla chart is it's starting to stick out of this upper linear regression, the 100-day linear regression. And sometimes when that happens, not always, but sometimes it gets a pullback down to the gap fill because the price has rallied up very fast. I'm guessing investors are not going to sell, but some traders and algorithms probably might want to at least try to retest 416 or 406. And recently there's also an SMA golden cross. So there's conflicting signals, but the short-term traders are probably going to play this volatility up here, whereas the longer-term investors are going to play the gap up SMA here on Tesla. So it looks like 431 could be that resistance to the upside, and then 407 is support on the downside. XLB, all I'm going to say is it's holding this potential pivot support zone of 90-50 area. And that's something that I'm watching out for. However, it's a consolidation play. This setup will be invalidated if we break down in the price below $90. Resistance is 92. XLC triggered on one of my scanners that it's outside of this upper linear regression. It's not outside the upper Bollinger Band. So if that happens, if we have a gap up to 121 or 122, then we might see a little small pullback. Let's do open stock just because it's so hot. Even though this is one of the hottest stocks in the market right now, just want to show people that there is a potential double top. 1050 is our short-term resistance. We want to watch out that we're not actually establishing a lower high here, right? High, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. That's good, but then we have a lower high. So we're consolidating right now inside of a symmetrical triangle, trying to retest this price down here, hold that support above $9. If $9 breaks to the downside, we might have a downtrending problem. Although open is still one of the hottest stocks. So I'm talking about short-term trading setups. Let's go to total crypto market cap. We're still in this uptrend on total for about several months now. The last setup that I played was in early September. We had this double bottom, upside down head and shoulders type of play. And there was also low stochastic RSI and MACD histogram momentum. That's why I'm showing this indicator package today. Easier to see. Resistance breakout. And then we're approaching resistance below 4.06 trillion, flagging right now to the side. No extreme, although if I had to choose, there's a Doge candle that might close this week. So beware of potential pullback. Even if it's really small, it might happen. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD. So this is very similar. This is very similar to total in the correlations, but this is the setup that I played. If you watch my channel 1 or 2 weeks ago, or even 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago is this double bottom that I was saying potential. 2 weeks ago, approximately, there's the potential upside down head and shoulders. I literally drew this and we had the rally. I took my profit on these cryptos. So I'm out of this trade right now. Now, what I'm looking for next is a reset on the indicators. Reset. If we're a symmetrical triangle pattern like this, short-term Fibonacci could show that we can retrace all the way down to approximately 113K. The short-term support is 115K, 114K, 113K, and 618 deep level in the Fibonacci is 111K. So those are 4 levels I'm thinking about right now. The targets that I'm showing is only about 7%. It's actually possible for that to happen. Same thing on Bitcoin. You just want to watch out that this double top that we hit the reversal support level, but now I'm seeing a potential doji. I'm about 3 days early on this, but if this closes, that's not a good sign because Bitcoin has to keep rallying above 117 or 120 to keep going. So if it rejects down, that's something I'm anticipating. So I'm a little bit hands off on crypto right now. Ethereum USD, very similar, just like open, right? You can see the sentiment. It's just high, low, high, low, high, low. And once we hit that lower high, then we might see a little bit more pullback. And if that support drops below 4294, might want to watch out for a 4100 support breakdown on Ethereum. Ethereum has been one of the hottest cryptos this year, going 150 to 200% top to bottom to top from April to August. Some of that sentiment is cooling off right now. Let's go to XRP. Had a nice potential bounce, but on the weekly chart, we are seeing some consolidation right now. So we have to hold above 288 on XRP. If we fall below that, there could be a little bit of problem on XRP. Resistance to the upside is still $3. Solana had a nice bounce, not quite consolidating so hard compared to Ethereum. It's actually still flagging, but it's actually uptrending in the flag. So right now, it looks like there could be a small potential Morningstar pattern with the potential of about maybe 2 to 3% in the very, very short term. The support breakdown, if we break down below 235, then we'll know we have a problem on Solana. But sometimes you get these beautiful breakouts to the upside. Now, one setup that I just want to remind people is once you hit some of these EMAs, those are nice spots to try to buy, right? When it goes high in the sky like that, it's more risky to get stopped out or even hopefully not liquidated for international traders, right? But for me, I'm just very conservative, just patience. That's what I learned for crypto trading, just patience. Just wait. And once we have some of that oversold setup with the momentum, then we start to get some of the breakouts. But the key is not trying to FOMO and buy at the highest price of all time. We were buying Solana in the 192 range, 175, 158 area down here. All right, let's do some of these meme coin setups. That's what's flashing on my scanner right now. Dogecoin, this is not an A+ setup, not an A+ setup. The A+ setup was back in September, where I was marking above that 200 EMA red zone. It's perfect. Now, what's happening is we're consolidating and pulling back to the short-term support zone of 26 cents, right below that 12 EMA. So again, it's a consolidation play that's happening right now, just like Solana, trying to bounce up to that 27.50, so 0.275 range. Pump as well. Pump, this is one that I did not really talk about that much, but had a beautiful setup in terms of what were the indicators, right? It's not all about RSI or MACD because that's not showing that much on a daily. Sometimes on a daily, you just draw one support line or one resistance line and the setup reveals itself, right? Draw a support line, draw a trend line, and this is classic measure and move. 50% actually went to 100%, double that target, finished the target. Now we're pulling back on the Fibonacci to the 236 zone and the 12 EMA, which is my setup. So that's one of my setups. It's not an A+. A+ setup would be something like an upside down head and shoulders or a double bottom or much, much deeper retracement. So maybe it turns into like a cup and handle and we could keep going higher. But this is like a small baby bounce for me that even some day traders would take when there's market liquidity on high volume. If it's a random time in the day, it might not rally. But the resistance of 0.0077, we have to hold above the support at 6,500. Next meme coin, Pepe. So Pepe is showing up on my scanner because it's forming a sim triangle. And when it's forming a symmetrical triangle, I traded Pepe, I already closed it. So what happened was, for me, I entered here and then closed here with stop loss. This is an old trade. So we're consolidating right now inside of here in terms of the momentum. It's still MACD's open. If I bring this up, the signal line and the MACD, it's still open right now, just pulling back. So it could bounce off of one of these EMAs. All of these bunched up means a squeeze generally, right? In terms of the volatility, starting to squeeze a little bit, not severe, but I like if it holds above 1032 and see if it can go above to this 1300 range, something I'm watching out for. But it could take a while. Last one on this list, Binance Coin. Binance Coin, all I'm saying is price above linear regression channel. Now the entry, just like Solana, was way back here when we're at the EMAs. Low stochastic RSI, momentum building. This is correlated with stocks, actually. You know, some of these stock plays like Intel, Oracle, RGTI, other quantums. They all had this similar setup. So sometimes breakouts work, but it has to have slightly higher than average volume, breaking out above a certain range. But now that it's up here, I'm not that interested in the short term because I like to see a reversion down to at least 1,047 or $1,000 over time. I want this to reset. A lot of cryptos I'm not recommending to people right now because for relative trading or medium-term trading using stock RSI, it's not at a low point right now. So if somebody randomly buys, there's a slightly higher chance it's going to pull back down on them. All right. Thank you for watching. Let's go over some of this weekly watch list that's happening. Now, today is Saturday, 9/20/2025. For the stock market, upcoming earnings releases, we have earnings from AutoZone, Micron, CarMax, Costco, BlackBerry. USA economic data, we have manufacturing PMI, services PMI, Fed Chair Powell, final GDP, unemployment claims, durable goods, existing home sales. Now the biggest one, core PCE price, consumer sentiment as well, Fed Chair Powell's speech as well, unemployment claims. So recent news, Federal Reserve and Chairman cut interest rates by 25 basis points. That's negative 0.25% reduction or cut. Trump administration signed a proclamation that they will start to charge brand new applicant H-1B visa applicants a fee of $100,000 USD. That means current H-1B visa holders are reportedly exempt. And we went over these chart events already. Just please note that technical chart events can be overridden by fundamental changes and breaking news. Let's always remember to manage our risk using position sizing, stop losses, and profit targets as traders. And as investors, managing risk with stop losses and managing emotions and reactions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.